SpacedOut music.
Hey, what's going on, folks? It is me. It is I am Vim. It is Space Cadet, and you are now tuned into the SpacedOut podcast. We got Gmims in the building. Well, we in Gmim's building. We out in NYC. Don't forget the dollar. We fucking in the Diamond District, in the Heatmaker studio, fucking chilling. How you doing today?
I'm all right. How you feeling today?
I'm fucking amazing.
That's
I'm
what's
here
up.
with you.
Yeah.
I fucking get to sit down with you, and after you, I get to sit down and cut it, because this motherfucker's not gonna find out till after Arsonist, which is fire. I grew up on his beats. I got to know you through Struggle Mike's fucking albums and shit.
That's dope.
I was like, yo, this man fire.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, growing up as a son of DJ Cool Red, which is gotta be dope as fuck.
Yeah.
What's your earliest hip hop memory?
My earliest hip hop memory? My earliest hip hop memories is being in the radio station. Yeah. It's being in the radio stations, being at High 97, being around like Angie, and I got vague memory of like me sitting at the album signing of Method Man for like Judgment Day. I was a real kid, meeting maybe Jay-Z when I was super younger. I used to be in a lot of music videos. My booking agent, ill story, my booking agent used to be Terrence Dean. That's Swiss Beats Pops. So I've always been like, man, I was in music videos and shit since I was in like fifth grade. Yeah. So as far as I can remember, I was around something that involved music and hip hop.
Nice. Yo, and if y'all hear the background, that's just, Baby Luca doing the fucking thing.
Luca,
like always.
it's finals. I know it's the finals. It's Luca. It's
Yeah,
Luca time. It's
yeah.
the finals. He on. You know what I mean?
Doing this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do you think your father's legacy has influenced your own journey into music?
Just on an inspirational level, he's a role model of like work ethic and commitment, and he makes sure that I take every step that I take serious. You know what I mean? He's just a model of why he's a legend. Also, it's not just what people say; it's the demonstration that he puts forth. So, I just learn from that. I take notes from that demonstration. He kind of lets me do my own thing, but for the most part, I still take many notes from just the time that I spend when he's in DJ Red Alert mode. You know what I mean? I spend a lot of time sitting with him behind the DJ table while he's working, reading the crowd, paying attention to what songs work. We talk about music all the time. We talk about hip hop and the history of it, the culture of it, the future of it, the presence of it. So, he keeps my heart in the culture, Yeah. He keeps my heart rooted in the culture. And I'm honored by that. I appreciate having that relationship with him. You know what I mean? Because it could just be like a father-son relationship, you know what I mean? But it's really like two artists and two people that are contributing to making music and to putting forth good music. And, even when I think about it, like I'm considered a native tongue. You know what I mean? I'm considered I once was a Zulu baby, right? I'm one of the youth of the native tongue. Native tongue is like, native tongue artists or people that are from the native tongue, artists from the native tongue culture are like Q-Tip, Tribe Called Quest, Jungle Brothers, De La Soul, some would say leaders of the new school, Just Ice, a lot of those artists, Queen Latifah. That's where a lot of my pop's pioneer credits come in, adding to the hip hop culture on a music note. So to have the torch passed to me by the likes of like KRS-One and Chi Ali and stuff like that has always meant the world to me.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's really the influence that I have from him. But everything else he's kind of just give me the platform to do what I need to do to build, you know, new floors on the building.
It's fine.
Thank you.
Nah, yeah.
Thank you.
It's dope. At what point did you decide to take music career seriously and like pursue it? Like, or was that always the plan?
It was a plan for a long time, but I don't know. I think when I lost my last job, about a couple of years ago, I lost my last job and I decided I wasn't going back to work and I was going to put both feet in. At the time, it was getting a little overwhelming anyway. I was kind of considered like a celebrity employee because, you know, I was on billboards, I was on TV, I was in little street films. I had music on the radio while I was working sometimes. Mm-hmm. And, you know, a lot of people knew me for what I did outside of work. And when that job ended, I kind of felt like it's time to go all in and see what I have to gain back from it. And since then, I never had to look back.
What was you doing?
What was I doing? I was working for Mount Sinai Hospital. I was a dietary nutritionist at Mount Sinai, but that's you know, it's still, I'm not big on like, I don't mind work, you know what I mean? I don't knock work.
Yeah.
But after a while, you know, you value your time, and someone telling me I'm only my efforts is worth $30 an hour when I could make much more an hour just kind of ate away at me, and I had to kind of take a shot at my desires and my dreams. So since then, I never had to look back. Word. Since then, and I've definitely made more money than I've ever made from a job. Have had more joy than I've had when having a job. It's nothing against a job, but for me, to do what I needed to do to be my best version of myself and to get me here sitting with you, I had to kind of take a chance for myself instead of working for someone else's dreams. And there's nothing really wrong with that. It's just about what you want to do.
No, if it ain't letting you fucking do what you want to do, and you're making money off what you're doing, why fucking be there? I feel
It ain't the same though. It ain't always like a 9 to 5 where you know every 2 weeks you're gonna get your check. Yeah, but you definitely get out what you put in. You know what I mean? It's all about how much you put into this. That's why they say, you know, I was in another conversation with someone and we was talking about how hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You know what I mean? So it's something that you gotta still hustle. You still gotta work hard at it like you were clocking in for a job, if not even more.
Yeah. No, that's a fact. I work way harder doing or way more doing this than I do at my regular job at all.
But that's what happens when you kind of set a cap on what you're worth for an hour of your time. You know what I mean? You're gonna find a little lane to be easy and do your thing and just do your job for what you're getting paid for. When sometimes working for yourself, there's no limit to how much it's worth, you know?
Yeah.
So see each his own.
What's your favorite weed strain?
My favorite weed strain?
We're smoking right now. So what's your favorite right now?
Right now, I'm talking with high tolerance. Everything high tolerance. I'm really talking with. I'm from Harlem, so it's a lot of brands out. It's Gumbo. You got Sprinkles. You got Hello. I had my own strain called Don't Forget the Dollar, which is coming back out. So that's probably gonna be the hottest thing moving. But I go to a lot of high tolerance events, so I'm fucking with them right now.
Yeah, y'all gotta have mad brands.
Yeah, it's a lot of brands.
Buffalo, New York, you got hella brands, and like, you know, they not.
Yeah, I don't really know the strain. Like, I'm not really. Yeah. I don't know. I don't stick to one strain, like particular weed strain.
It's more about.
I like weeds that keep me up. I like to go to sleep with weeds, but you know, a lot of time I smoke in the studio, so I like to still feel creative when I'm smoking the most. Yeah. When I'm home, I like weed that's gonna kind of make me go to sleep. But for the most time, I don't want to be too dead, but I want to be high. You know what I mean? I don't mind being high as long as I'm up. and I can still be functionally creative. If it's something that's going down me, I'd rather be in the crib.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. I'm a sativa person all day. I was smoking this joint, Lilac Diesel.
Like Diesel, I heard that before.
That shit is
So that's a sour, dude. That's a sour?
it's a mix of the sour and something else. I don't know what it's mixed with.
All right.
But they saying there's New York City sour out.
Okay. Yeah, I hear the Diesel at the end, so I know that gotta be a sour Diesel.
I want some new, like that old sour.
This your first time in the city, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Bring that old sour back.
Yeah. I remember. I mean, I was young those days, but I remember sour and haze and Kush, and that's what you used to have.
Even when I was growing up, it's like sour came around and I was
The sour was in all the songs and everything. I wasn't really smoking, and I ain't start smoking until like I left college. I used to play ball and shit, so I used to try to kind of just take care of my body. I ain't even really have friends that like I had friends that smoked, but I just ain't really hang around them that much, just because I wanted to stay kind of focused on what I was doing with basketball.
Yeah.
When I kind of knew I wasn't gonna be playing basketball professionally or pursuing it any longer, I started allowing myself to indulge in smoking and shit like that. But when I was playing sports, I wasn't into nothing. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't doing any of that. That's how like I don't mind this stuff because I know I can stop it at any point. You know what I mean? I still know I'm in full control of myself, and you know I'd rather not get lost in any addiction. You know what I mean? No matter how much I like it, always kind of check in with yourself and make sure you can control yourself. Okay, my people, make sure you control yourselves. You know what I mean? Do these things at a leisure, not as a addiction.
Yo, so you develop a love for rhyme, melody, and at a young age.
Yeah, so yeah, man. I used to look at like the back of like I remember like Whitney Houston albums and stuff like that. Some singing albums. They used to have their lyrics in the back. They had it on a couple of these albums. I used to read a lot of those, and that's how I kind of learned how to write rhymes and understand how artists was writing to the beats. Like I started with Whitney Houston a lot. I used to kind of learn Whitney Houston songs and sing them with my aunt, me and my sister Gmim. I used to be with my aunt. We used to sing songs from Whitney Houston like My Name Is Not Susan. I forgot the name of that album. I feel like it was like a bluish purple, a bluish background. I forgot the name of that album, but we used to play that album all the time, and it had the song lyrics. We used to play this Tupac album too, that I think had the song lyrics in the book. And from there, like learning the song lyrics, there used to be this website when I was a kid called like Jay's Lyrics. You used to like Google song lyrics, it was called like Jay's Lyrics or something like that. And I just started reading artists' lyrics and learning how they wrote to beats, and I started to just kind of incorporate that in my writing until I got good enough to express myself.
Yeah.
I was always a part of little things like choirs and stuff like that. And, you know, I was around music. My mom, my pops, my family played music often, so I had a good exposure to different music and different melodies. You know, I mean, I even listen to gospel or just R&B, I listen to rap. I was like, it was a point where I can only remember my mom's really letting me listen to like Michael Jackson as a kid. So imprints, and then whatever else she would play. You know what I mean? So I guess those times grew on me, you know what I mean? So I think back to those moments when you asked me about like getting my little sense of rhythm and rhyme and stuff like that.
Good. Yeah. So how do you think your styles has evolved over the years?
Jim, I was just in the car driving from Jersey, my publicist Cassie, and I was just listening to old songs, thinking about like my transition and my growth. A lot of my music comes from like moments in life, experiences, conversations. So most of the time I just be listening to the growth in how I can like tap into those feelings of those moments. Like how accurately can I describe what I'm feeling or say, you know what I mean? I like for my music to kind of come off like a conversation, almost like I'm talking to you, or with you or something like that. So I think I grew a lot of my voice in my pocket, my comfort in my pocket, and my beat choice, being able to kind of, I always had a thing for like concept, making music or making concept, putting out something with a cohesive concept.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been an artist that liked that. But just being comfortable with my flow and my sound, understanding the impact that I have, the presence that I have on a song, I hear that growth. At first, I think I used to rap without knowing what type of impact I had. You know what I mean? Like, I used to listen to myself and still wonder what other people hear. I don't know how to explain that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know it stands out to me when I'm listening to me, but I don't really know what you're hearing when I speak, when I rap. So I used to kind of wonder what it was about me people liked or gravitated to. And then one day I just said, fuck it, as long as they like it, you can't get tripped up about it. There's too many people in the world to try to get tripped on what every single person feels about your music or hears from your music. But as long as you put out something that people can resonate with, then you're doing something. Yeah. Whether it's for shits and giggles, whether it's for a car ride, a workout, for isolated people, for people who are like to socialize, for relationships, just wanted to resonate, you know what I mean, with your listener. And I think I've gotten way better at understanding how that works for me. Yeah.
Fun. Your flow is known to be for being versatile. And how do you approach creating a new track or a freestyle?
I mean, I've changed. I used to write. I still value writing, but I don't write as much anymore. So it allows me to kind of be in the moment. When I say I don't write, it really means that I'll be punching in. You know what I mean? I come up with like 4 or 5 bars at a time, or 2 bars, or 6 bars, or whatever. But understanding that I don't have to rap it straight has allowed me to be more creative and to think outside the box with recording music. Being around more artists, being around so many dope artists that I've been around, you get to see different approaches to making music and coming up with their verses and stuff like that and their lyrics. So, you know, I've taken note. I've been around a lot of dope people, so I've been able to take note from them, from being in the studio with them and seeing how to approach things in different ways, from young to old. Yeah. There's so many different approaches to recording on a microphone. You know, with a computer and technology, shit, now they got like AI and stuff. They can make you sound like somebody totally different. So the point is, you can be as creative as you want to be. So being able to understand that you don't got to go into the studio and rap it straight like it was a live freestyle has just broadened my creative ability and my kind of willingness to go outside myself and change flows or to just try different sounds, you know?
Yeah. Fun. Like,
There's out.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest.
The weirdest shit is the most unique shit you done.
I mean, I have a project called Kiss the Girls that I'm working on. Right now, my project out, let me not mistake that. I have a project out right now, I just dropped, called the Hustle World Tour. It's on all streaming platforms. It dropped this past Friday. It's not even a week ago from while we talking.
Yeah.
It's doing pretty well. But I'm working on a project called Kiss the Girls, and it's a lot. It's more into like relationship failures and shit like that. Like, let's say, all right, you know, it's called Kiss the Girls, so I don't know if you're familiar with the nursery rhyme called like Georgie Porgy, put in pod, kiss the girls and make them cry. My name is George, so the only thing I did is just took off the Georgie Porgy part and make them cry and just only kiss the girls. So the connotation to that line is sort of like relationships that just never work out, sort of like Cupid missing his mark, right? So In that project, I brought that up because I'm saying in that project, I do more like melodic songs. I do more like, I'm rapping still, but I did beats and tones that are a little bit out my necessary rap space, my rap pocket. Yeah, so it's cool. I don't mind it. I've rapped with bands. I've rapped in so many different environments that none of it is really too foreign to me when it comes to rapping. I've rapped on all kinds of beats. I've rapped in all kinds of environments now that I start to reflect on it. So none of it is really that uncomfortable. I think a lot of times the hardest part is being able to get what we hear in our mind out when we say it correct. You know, when you're saying it out correctly, it just comes with a lot of practice and a lot of memorization, memorizing a lot of this work. When you don't write it, when you kind of just move on to the next song, can get difficult. So some people it's easy, some people it isn't. So, you know, it takes practice. Practice is probably the hardest, toughest time for me, but it's when the development really comes together, because you gotta work at it. Repetition is the father of learning. So that's the most uncomfortable part, just being prepared, making sure you gotta do the things that other people won't do to stay prepared. Everything else is natural. I make music on a natural kind of tone. It doesn't even feel like that kind of pressure, you know what I mean? Other than getting it done at a certain time or making sure you just record your best version. A lot of times when you're an artist, right, you're in a room with a lot of people. People are just staring at you. I've been in studios, some sessions, and it's just mad people that just want to see. There's people that are artists waiting for their turn. There's people that are cameramen. There's people that are execs that probably could change your life. It's just entourage. You staring through your booth, and this whole kind of people staring and looking and wanting to see. And you know, you still gotta stay in your space. Yeah. And still be creative and not be shy and stand in your music zone. So that'd be the biggest test. That'd be the bigger preparation. But I like it though. You know what I mean? You gotta like it. You gotta love it. You almost gotta be numb to it, because there's so many other things you gotta focus on as an artist. There's so many other things you gotta do and be prepared for, that making the music can't be the hardest part. It gotta just be the most consistent part.
Yeah. You know. You performed at some iconic venues like SOB and BB King's. Can you share a memorable experience of like performances you've done?
Yeah, I mean, I've performed in a lot of places with like the Jungle Brothers. Shout out to the Jungle Brothers. They really put me on stage, on my biggest stages, and they let me shine on main event time. And it groomed me. I used to rap like on 2 boxes. I used to go to this spot on Wednesdays called Sapphire Lounge. It was like it was about this size. The inside was about this size. The little bar was right here. This was it. And we stood on 2 tables that took up this spot right here. So the stage might have stood about as high as this table. We stood on the two, it was this size, I swear, from here to here. We stood on top of it. Everybody stood here in this room like this. And we would perform every Wednesday. Shout out to Uncle Tone, DJ Uncle Tone. And it used to be 5 people, it used to be 10 people, it used to be, picture 30 people in a room like this, it looks crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I used to think like it was stupid, you know what I mean? I like doing it because I knew it was getting me better, but I used to think like, damn, this is small. But that built my confidence up, and it built my like stage presence up to be on stages like with the Jungle Brothers. So some of my memories is like, I really think like one of my dopest memories with them was performing at SOBs. And I was in like a cypher. It was like a native tongue cypher. And it was like, I think Talib was in that cypher. Paz was in that cypher from a Tribe Called Quest. The Jungle Brothers was in that cypher, Just Ice. That was a dope time being in that cypher. And then most recently, I just was at Sony Hall, and KRS-One brought me on stage to rap with him. And that was an amazing time. That was during my pops celebrated his 40th year on radio.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 40 years on radio. He got to be like the longest lasting hip hop DJ on radio. Every day he goes on the radio. He's still on radio right now. So whenever he retires, he'll retire the longest. I think it's beyond DJs. Like on radio, I think you got to go really, really far back in the files to find somebody that's been on radio as long as he has. And yeah, so he's a super legend. And he let me perform on his stage at a super sold out Sony Hall. And I got to rap with KRS-One. And I'm honored to have KRS-One on my corner. He's a mega, mega legend. So yeah, that's one of my better memories are becoming more recent. I just performed on the festival stage at Hot 97 last year.
Yeah.
That was at the UBS Arena. So honestly, my more recent experiences are becoming like bigger and bigger, you know what I mean? So it's all a blur. I've been on a lot of stages though. I got to perform a lot. I'm blessed to say that. Yeah.
So the current project.
Real talk.
Yeah. That's fine.
Fighters, got little pins, got cups, got all types of stuff. They had a nice project release of it the other day.
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was dope. It was pretty dope. Had it in Harlem. Got to show love to all the people that was a part of the project, and to the people that was asking for it and anticipating it. A lot of people like it. The Hustle World Tour. Yeah. What do you want to know?
Yeah, so it was like, what was your creative process for it?
Well, I did a lot of songs with a lot of different artists, from Joel to Trinidad to Jim. I'm a Vamplife artist.
Yeah.
So being with Jim and being with Austin, between being with both of them, I've kind of had created some dope relationships with artists, with pretty much all the artists that are on that project, from Drama B2R to Joel to Dice to fucking Trinidad to Jada Kiss. We did the song. Honestly, we recorded not Subliminals. Me and J1 recorded Silver Spoon right in the studio. And I recorded many records right in the studio. So the process was a little bit staggered because I was working on about 2 other things at the same time. But once I got a good collection of like features with my, favorite artists and close friends, close peer artists, I was like, it's about time I put out like a collaborative project, something that shows more of me working with other people. And I also had some of my own solo songs that I put with it, and I just really wanted to kind of speak to bringing out, when I say the Hustle World Tour, it's just expanding off the block. Sometimes we just hustle on the block and hustle, and let's expand it, let's work together, let's spread the hustle. And that was really the intents and purposes behind it. That's why the cover art has like two people with the mask on, 2 people going to get the job done, because it was just all about collaborative effort. I got to have a lot of dope artists, producers work with me as well. Shout out to T on the beats. He did most of the songs on the project, and I got to work real close with him. T would just have the MPC out right here next to me, and we going through beats, going through patterns, going through samples, going through loops, until I start like rapping, until I start going. And he know once I start going, that's the vibe to build on. And that was very fun, man. Free my man RP. Free my man RP. He was a big part of the process. My brother Rich, he was a big part of the process for this project as well. Making sure I drive around, keep up with all my artist friends, and make sure I supported all the people that support me back. And we created a dope project. I think it's pretty dope. It's a super cohesive project. I have two or three videos that I'm about to drop as well. One coming out soon for Checklist, which came out to be a pretty dope video. I don't know, you ever seen the movie New Jack City?
Yeah.
So I live right down the block from the Carter.
Okay.
Like you can look out my window and see the Carter. So I got to shoot that video actually inside the Carter and in front of the Carter, sort of like remnants of the New Jack City movie. So that's gonna be a dope video. I think people gonna like it when they see it. And you know, I'm looking forward to just, you know, putting out more of this rollout and letting everybody see what I have in store around the project, the object of, and the concept of the Hustle World Tour. So right now I got a little, you know, I got a little lighters, little merch, everything for people to keep up with and hold as a memorabilia to this project.
Yeah. No, I love the artwork. Who did the artwork?
Well, shout out to my man RP. My man Rich had the idea with the actual photo of the two masked people working together. I added the Don't Forget the Dollar. Don't Forget the Dollar is a brand that started with me really just talking about. It means a lot more, you know what I mean? But it derived from the S on my name, Mims, and my MS. Don't forget the dollar sign. I'm from Harlem, so I used to want to have a dollar sign like Meeks, and I always had my own meaning to it though. I always wanted it to mean more about don't like knowing your worth, never to forget the benefit and make profit on your efforts. Don't forget the dollar sign is a mentality. It's almost even a lifestyle. Not really to worship the dollar, but just don't forget to value yourself for an all-purpose of currency. You know what I mean? And it's been spreading. A lot of times people don't even remember my name sometimes, and they just see me and be like, don't forget the dollar sign, you know what I mean? So it's dope because it's a mentality behind it that's for motivational purposes, not for showing off purposes, not for like shitting on you and stunting on you purposes. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's a feel behind the flashing the dollar sign that comes with like a stunt. And I never wanted it to mean that. I always wanted it to feel to me something different coming from me. And I say all that to say is I incorporated that concept with the original photo, and then we just added on it. We ended up turning it into merch. I ended up making it a hot pink because like in Harlem, we wear pink. You feel me? Like one of the first gifts I ever got from Capo, from Jim Jones, was these like Harlem pink cool cars. You know what I mean? And so I decided to make the album cover pink just to resonate a little bit of like from Harlem, and I thought it kind of stood out. And that's how it came together. It just layers of creativity until I felt like it spoke what the music felt like. I sit with my cover art and I go through the music and just stare at the cover art. I'll make it like the freaking screensaver on my TV, and I'll just play my music over and over and kind of make sure it feels like what I'm staring at.
I feel that.
Like I had several colors, which I might still drop. I have different versions of it, different colors that I plan on dropping with the merch. So
was the vinyl coming out?
Yeah, I'm gonna do vinyls. I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna make sure all my listeners and supporters and followers and fans get something from this that allows them to physically connect to the music. You don't know, the internet might not last forever. You know what I mean? I don't want to just trust streaming platforms. I still want that feel of, it's something cool about the fact that I still got a Slick Rick vinyl in plastic. You feel me? The Adventures. You feel me? I still have that in plastic and vinyl. I still got Bubba Sparks double vinyl and plastic.
Yo, I got a fucking Bodega Band, like ripped by him, signed, and shit.
Yeah, like I still like that. I still got
I'm never
those.
opening this shit.
Yeah,
to
I
listen
don't
to
want to.
it.
Yeah,
Why am I
open
open it?
So, that is something why I want to still make sure I leave behind. RP, my man Fred the Godson is a big reason why I've improved as an artist as well. You know, what I mean, we asked about my growth.
Yeah.
It's kind of me before Fred, me after Fred, and that has changed my approach with music also. But before he passed, he had like these cool vinyls that he put out for his last project. So I always wanted to kind of do that too. So I definitely plan on making sure I leave a lot behind, a lot of physical memorabilia that connects to the music for this project. Yeah, especially because I did music with a lot of people on this project, and I just wanted my best way of showing gratitude is just putting my best foot forward behind the platform that they're sharing with me.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Because you got, like you said, who you got on there, there's people that I grew up listening to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just like Jim Jones was like, yo, I couldn't imagine being signed to Vamplife and being like, yo, I grew up listening to you, every word for word, everything you said.
You know what it is? I'm around arsonists, man. I'm around the heat makers, so I always had the, and so the thing is, I grew up listening to these people, but like I said, I'm also normalized to being around these people.
Yeah.
So I understand how to stay in myself and I never really became a physical fan, you know what I mean? Because I've always been so close to people. But someone like Heatmakers, I mean, being around Awesomeness, you never be surprised who's gonna walk in the studio.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. It's because of him I know Joel Ortiz. Well, because of him I got in the radar of Jim Jones. I knew Jim Jones, but it's being in the studio, watching them work on El Capo.
Yeah.
It's being in the studio with Fat Joe. Fat Joe's like family to me, he always was, but being with Arsonists and watching them work on All the Way Up, stuff like that allowed me. I think I was in with Arsonists one time and Macy Gray walked in here. You know what I mean? Like, you feel me? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, a lot of people would think that I know these people because of my pops.
Yeah.
But no, I was fortunate to be introduced to R by my man Els, and Arsonist has been the biggest, dopest big brother and mentor and honest, authentic person with me for as long as he has than anybody. So I'm forever grateful with that. So yeah, sometimes I do think about like, yo, Jim Jones, Dipset was crazy when I was Dipset crazy, birds everywhere, motherfucker. I wanted to do everything Dipset.
Yeah, that's why I wore pink and purple.
But when I got around them, it's like I'm at a point where it's like that's why I wear pink and purple.
Yo, yeah.
That was the final two colors of my album cover, pink and purple.
Yo, because it was like, because when Cameron wore pink, got pink t-shirts, every Arab store had more pink tees than anywhere else. You walk into an Arab store, you got pink tees, the oversized ones, and then Purple City Bird Gang. And then it was like purple.
You know, Purple City was like really a purple. You know what that represents though, right?
That wasn't a strain of weed?
Nah, see, that's crazy. So Purple City was the name of a particular area in Harlem. So Harlem that was during like the crack era. They had purple tops.
See, they be lying.
So Jim was kind of paying not homage, but paying a metaphor to time in Harlem where there was a certain hustle area called Purple City. And that was on east side of Harlem, like 122nd Street, in an area called Purple City because they had like purple caps. So that's what Purple City Bird Gang is a metaphor for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then like it'd be like weed and all that stuff. Obviously he's not about to say it. It's not about to be a crack on with rap, but that was what, you know how everybody like YMCMB. The C&B is from Cash Money Brothers. That whole logo look is from New Jack City, the Cash Money Brothers. So, you know, they all the most hip hop brands have some sort of metaphor, homage to some sort of like gangster
Yeah,
story. Or something like that.
inspiration from
Inspiration from it. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Where we gonna get the inspiration from is where we grow up in.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a fact. That's a fact.
Well, how do you balance like your music career and all that? Like your music career, your modeling, your influencing responsibilities. How do you balance all that?
I don't balance it. It's so fucking hard. My publicist wants to get rid of me every day. Every day she threatens me and says she's gonna leave me. It's a tough balance. Every day she tells me she's gonna leave me. You feel me? So it's not easy. It's not easy. I got 2 daughters. Sometimes I can have all my day organized, right? And my mom, who has no idea what my day has in store, and she might say, I need you to help me bring this mattress over. I told your cousin that you would help me. Really? How'd you tell her that? You wouldn't even speak to me. You know what I mean? I'm on stage. It's, oh, my bad. I'll call you back. I love you. You understand? And sometimes it's like, but now it's in my mind. I'm like, but Ma, did you get the mattress done? You know what I mean? Did you like? It's things that always add up. Sometimes you gotta get to a computer and fix something on your website that was a mistake, or on your social. Like, it's always something to be done. There's always something to do. The balance that I find is with God and putting my kids first. I put my kids first and I get blessings. That's been my secret. When I don't know what the hell to do next, I make sure I put my kids first. And I feel like I always get an open door from that in prayer. And like the right guidance, whatever comes to me, whatever comes to my clarity from that is what I follow. And as long as like they good, I'm great. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that matters to me. You know what I mean? Everything else, I mean, I rap about money and stuff, but this is all fiat. Well, at least in the United States, it's all fiat. You feel me? Like this, my man Beloved, you back there, he told me about that. Like, this shit is all fiat. This shit is all like entertainment. It's a little bit of legacy behind it. It's lifestyle behind it. It's a lot of like cultural things that come from it. But this whole like money and materialistic stuff could be here today, be gone tomorrow. Like, I asked the girl, we could talk about being fly, you could be sexy and all that, but if our life depended on it, could you grab our kid and run a mile with me? Like, are we in the best shape? Can we survive? Can we really truly survive? If shit went boom and we got 2 kids, I'll put them both on my shoulders. Can you at least get a mile? Can I depend on you to, can we do that? Can we survive? That's what shit really comes down to with me, is survival. You know what I mean? The second that anything that I'm doing really, really harmfully interrupts my survival, then you know what I mean, I'm willing to let it go. But you know, things like music is just expressive. Like, it's not something that's really meant to get in the way. So as long as I'm true to it, I think it's gonna always feed me back the blessings that I need to continue and to add on to my future and my family's future and stuff.
I got 3 more questions.
It's cool, right?
As someone who's deeply rooted in Harlem, how does your community influence your music?
Oh man. So I was around a lot of I had some friends that are also like hip hop offsprings, like square off, they're like Dougie Fresh kids or sons. They grown, so I don't want to refer to them like they kids, but you know, they Dougie Fresh children. SNS, he's a legendary DJ SNS. I know his son, Lil SNS, that's my man. Vina Love, K Capri's daughter, kind of have a lot of peers that were in Harlem. Harlem is like a super melting pot for like all of your hip hop, old school pioneers, like it's a lot of them that just were right in Harlem. Like, you know, if it started in the Bronx, if hip hop started in the Bronx, it matriculated into Harlem. You know what I mean? As well, the whole term Harlem World.
Yeah.
We know a lot of that from Mace, but really the Harlem World was a place right on 116th. It was like a hip hop club right on 116th and Lenox. So like I just live in the middle of a hip hop infused influence.
Yeah.
And that's really what influenced me, being around the type of peers that I had, and just being in Harlem. The whole culture of Harlem is so artistic, and it's a lot more gentrified now. But when I was a kid, it was so much more freeness and what we glorify today when we look at like Cam and Jim Jones and all of that. Like that lifestyle is really not like that no more.
Yeah.
But if you were able to grow up and be exposed to any of the remnants of that time, you know, like Harlem was like a movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that alone, you know, influenced me top notch, from the way that I dress, from the type of things that I think is fly. You know, we snap if you're not looking fly, and it's not really to like, you know, you look back at it, you would think shit like that is traumatic, but that was just how we kind of kept each other up to par, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Making sure we look presentable, making sure we not settling for nothing and settling for having nothing and having your hand out, you know what I mean? Everything was about kind of picking yourself up and challenging yourself to not do better than the person in front of you, but using the people that are doing good as motivation. Like, oh yeah, I want to get like that too. Or what he brought out the bins. Oh yeah, wait till I get up. I'm gonna get mama go get the you know what I mean? He backed out what? Oh yeah, when I get my shit right, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna do it like this. That's just motivational purpose. It's never really about stunting and trying to like hurt the ego of others. I mean, and when you talk shit, yeah, but it's not, you know what I mean? But for the most part, it's about motivation. Everybody want to see each other kind of come up, you know what I mean? Regardless if we kind of go about it the wrong way, it's about getting out of the jungle, you know, and getting, like I said, the kids getting things right for our youth and making sure they got an easier route. That's why I never like really spoke really bad against anybody that had a shorter lane or easier, quote unquote, easier way to what, you know, we call success. Because, you know, you don't know other people's journeys and you don't know what they have to go through or how long they will even be there. So, you know, I learned that a lot. All of that comes from like being in Harlem, seeing hustlers, seeing people with jobs, seeing mothers that's trying to figure it out for their kids. It's ups and downs. It's mad ups and downs. You know what I mean? You know what it's like to see a person when after tax season and then after they go away. You know what I mean? Like it's ups and downs, you know what I mean? So that you know that's a little normal to people like me from where I come from. And that's why I always go back to survival. The shit come and go. You know what I mean? It's the things that stand genuine within that last kind of forever. Which is why I even like to do music. Like I know more about people unless I went to like school and had to do a test on it, I know more about people who aren't even alive today through music than I know any other way. You know what I mean? Besides forcing myself on a documentary or looking for the information, I listen to the voices of people who aren't even here today more often than a lot of us do. You know, you listen to any Michael Jackson, you listen to Pop Smoke, if you listen to the Biggie Smalls, we still listening to them to this day. So clearly it's a way of lasting forever. It's a way of having a voice even when you don't have a physical presence. So that's why I care so much about music, you know what I mean, and doing it. But yeah, that's what.
Shit, you basically, you kind of answered this, but what legacy do you hope to leave behind for future generations of hip hop? You basically touched on it, so.
Yeah, I think, you know, your legacy is like how you know, you put on, how you put your shoes on and how you lace them. So legacy is kind of really left behind the footsteps that you leave. I think I'm still building something that's gonna be considered legendary. And that's to be left behind for people who wanna use anything that I've done as a motivation for them in their space. I like to think that there's substance behind my music, my conversation, my demonstration, the way I carry myself, that inspires other people. I mean, I've seen it, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily always think about it and realize that I have that, but I've noticed that I do have that presence upon people with an impact on some people. So you gotta make sure you use it in the right ways. And I just think that my legacy is not fully finished yet, but I love that there are artists and kids that have been already influenced by me and want to do things that they see me do. You know what I mean? When people, artists that I feel like are in dope positions, stop me and tell me they used to watch me, or they pay attention to me, or they took something from me, means the world to me. It really means the world to me, because I don't expect it. They don't owe me that. I really just do it because it's who I am and it's authentic to how I want to give my shit up. And I just think, the legacy is still to be continued, and I'm blessed to say that. And it's still going on. Don't forget the dollar sign. Still continues. The saga continues.
How do you envision the future of hip hop? What role do you see yourself playing in this evolution?
I think hip hop is going to go through a civil war. Right? I think with AI and with natural human beings, there's going to be a disagreement upon how we create and the ownership of our voices, our tones, our likeness, and music is going to, at some point, come to a conflict of what's allowable, what's monetizable, monetizable. I think it's going to come to a point where more of us as artists is going to learn the value in the music that we put out. You know what I mean? If we can get less of a penny for one stream, that means there's a lot of money in music, a lot of people getting paid. You know what I mean? A lot of people getting paid.
Wow.
So that means there's a lot of areas that we don't even realize, from sound waves to, you know what I mean? Just our likeness, our lyrics, our production. It's so many different ways that I think is going to start to come up that we're missing out on money. And it's going to be a little bit of a civil war as to what's right and what's wrong, and what rights we have to as musicians, and what rights we have to as publishing platforms and distribution platforms. I can see a time where that's going to be a little bit of a conversation, but ultimately, still making music is free. You know what I mean? At least hip hop. That's the beauty about hip hop. All of the free forms of music, they came from having nothing. So believe me, hip hop will survive if we have nothing. You know what I mean? A lot of free forms of music will survive if we have nothing. That's what it was made from. And so we'll be okay. You know what I mean? We'll be okay. We will be okay. But I think music will continue and hip hop will continue to grow and expand beyond our belief and understanding. I think hip hop has always been a prime culture. I don't think we appreciate it enough as a culture opposed to just a category in music. I think it comes with a lot more than just music. So the sky's truly the limit with hip hop. And it's very young. I mean, we just celebrated 50 years. That means my mom and uncles and stuff is still older than hip hop. So then it's still very young. You know what I mean? Hip hop could have been my grandmother's youngest child. So it's young.
Yeah.
So we still got to give it time to grow and nourish and prepare it for the hundreds of years that it will go on beyond us and thousands of years that it will go on beyond us. You know what I mean? And we have to continue to nurture it like that because it's our baby. It's our gift of music to the history of music that continues on. And it's really like that. Like, it's really that real. So, you know, that's what I think. But I think it'll continue to grow. I think we got to always appreciate its evolution. It seems like in hip hop, the old era, it's changing now. It's definitely changing now. But before now, it used to feel like it was always like a disagreement with the hip hop of the past and the new hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, it's that moment in Paid in Full where homie come from the cleaners and be like, turn that music, turn that hippity bebop. I can't listen to this shit. And he turned it to some like jazz. It's like, can't listen to that bebop. You know what I mean? And then it went from that to this ain't real hip hop, or hip hop is dead. I remember hip hop was dead back in the time. It was saying hip hop is dead. And then, you know what I mean? Now it's too much drill, or now it's too much Jersey drill, or this drill or that drill, or get back to R&B, or get back to real hip. You know what I mean? Really let hip hop grow. It's grown, and it's gonna come up with new arms, legs. Let it grow. That's how it started. So,
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. You know, that's my synopsis of what I think hip hop will kind of go into in the future. I just kind of I kind of fear us having like a music civil war, because it's gonna be a point where you can just make robots say, type lyrics in and pick a voice. You don't even need no one to make music no more. That's corny. There's gonna be people that don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't.
You know what I mean? Imagine that you can now have shit. They got shit now. I think you're gonna be able to just think things and a computer can do it. So now I don't have to have the talent to say it. I can just think of what I wanted to say, and the computer's gonna just automate it.
Well,
I don't even think I should be saying this on camera. I don't want to get nobody no ideas. But it's obvious that it's gonna go, it can go there. You know what I mean? You know, if you need talent no more.
oh yeah, that's a fact.
What are we gonna do when there's no need for human services? We fucked. It's like we're not living no more. I thought this was the land of the free. There's no freedom in that.
We ain't free.
Because now everything got an on-off switch and a power button, opposed to having a heart and a soul. We just so mad at we can't come to an agreement on that so badly that we just gonna go to robots. I mean, that's cool. I love it. I love technology, but it's kind of getting to a point where there's going to be a time where humans and machine is gonna be like, nah.
But iRobot shit.
I mean, shit, maybe like iRobot. Clearly, they was thinking about that long before me. But it just obviously looks like it's going in that direction more and more.
But it's like, when is it gonna be like, when is it too much?
Can we just live with it for a while? Can we just stop here? Let's just keep it here. Let's keep 4K is good, 5K dope. Let me just chill with this let a couple generations go past. We change it every 2 years, every 3 years, it's something new. Like,
yeah, we don't need 8K yet right now. Chill out.
Everything is like a test. It's like a beta. Everything we doing is like a beta.
Yeah.
Preparation for, I don't know, just tests.
Yo, I was walking around, I'm like, yo, some of these people ain't real. Like, yeah, people look like,
I mean, you know,
real.
they say it's just a recycle, like some of the stuff that happened before. Look at these clocks, bro. You can't tell me they ain't have all kinds of technology. They have all types of shit. All these ideas, these, you know what I mean, these antiques. The human mind is immaculate. You know what I mean? Things that we think of as immaculate is out this world. So you can't be surprised. You can't be surprised. But so there's no limit to me where music can go, hip hop can go, because it's a culture. It's bigger than just music. It's really a lifestyle. It's It's the result of the lives that people like my pops was living. They didn't know they was doing it. They didn't know any of this was coming when they was doing this shit. They was playing in parks. They was having performances at jams. They was on the radio. You know what I mean? You look at photos of, if you find old photos of my pops, he went and got them little photo shoots done himself. The little Kiss FM jackets, he got it made himself. So for all y'all that call for that facade, like, listen, this is your own hustle. You got to think outside the box. He took a little office that nobody was using himself and had the phone line and made it his office for the moment and took photos there. We have social media, so you seen that photo. The reality is in that photo that you see.
Yeah.
Right? It'll fuck everybody up if you found out one of the paintings of a president that we see as white was black. It's a painting. You don't know who the painter could make a painting in any color they want to make them. Dead serious.
Yeah.
You ain't having photos even fucked up to know it's just the perception of the painter. History is a perception of the photographer. That's what happens when we dead and gone. That's some fly shit. I just thought of that. But that's the truth.
Well, that
You know what I mean? It is, though.
Oh, yeah.
Or the writer. Or the author.
I was looking at the pictures too.
You know what I mean? Like,
And
that's
then
when it
the
goes
ones
back.
downstairs to the window, like in this place.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
So,
Like, yo, that shit is fire. Like, I like going to places and you see the photos and who was there.
it tells a
and shit like
story. It tells a
that.
story.
Yeah, I don't want to go on your Instagram and scroll through it to find out who was there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Ali photos and shit downstairs. Yeah, like the Ali, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's Azad, my man Bobby. Shout out to my man Bobby Azad. Like he really put me on a lot of game too. From the jewelry world, watches, and just a lot about value too. We have plenty dope conversations about the world and different cultures, how they mesh and how they differ. And you know, he's a special mind too. Like the way they build watches and the way they see watch designs are unmatched. You know what I mean?
Shit with these. This shit is crazy.
Yeah, Bobby's a great dude, man. And
You got
he's
socks in here that, like, I had in my fucking house. Like, that you would think had no value as a kid. Like, you would think,
yeah.
like, remember that? It's like that. You remember the cops? You used to put the things over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I remember vaguely, but yeah, I do know what you're talking about. But you know, like I said, you know, shout out to Bobby, man. Bobby Azad. Azad is just it just means, you know, it represents that freedom. And he's always been big on just giving us a platform to do just that, to be free as creatives or free as businessmen. And I've had a lot of growth from being under his tutelage and his guidance.
Good.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man. Doing the interview, sitting down with me on the podcast. Is there anything that I didn't get to touch on that you would like to, you know, tell to the people, or any words of wisdom before we get out of here?
Don't forget the $. Hustle World Tour out now. I think we touched on a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm honestly, I think I put it all out there as far as how I feel about go get the Hustle World Tour. Yeah, merch coming out. I got merch. I told you once again, I got merch. I got all kinds of things. Stuff for your house, cups. I got pins. I got lighters. I got shirts. And they're all gonna have a connection to the music as well, like I was telling you earlier. So make sure you follow me on the gram, Cool Gmims, at Cool Gmims, KOOLGMIMS. You know, link will be in my bio, or you can just hit me up and I'll find a way to direct you to it. And yeah, it's doing well. Go get the merch. Go get all that. Don't forget the $. Hustle World Tour merch. It's gonna be available. It's already available. So just want to tell the fans to tap into that and make sure they stream the project and fuck with your boy. You get the $.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you go like, subscribe, do all that cool shit. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
It's the Wiz. SpacedOut music.